highly qualified women participate fully in the decision making process of society through their roles in government, in the community and in the family. निर्णय प्रक्रिया फिर वो शासन की रहे, समुदाय की रहे या परिवार की रहे, उच्च शिक्षा के कारण वो महिला उतनी सक्षम बने कि निर्णय प्रक्रिया में वो अपनी सहभागिता बढ़ा सके। मित्रों, और इसके लिए जो आवश्यक है, नेतृत्व गुणों का विकास उच्च शिक्षा के माध्यम से हो। आज बड़ी खुशी है कि इस महफिल में, इस मंच पर प्रोफेसर संजीव कुमार जी ने आदरणीय हमारी सखी और हमारी विद्वान बहन आदरणीय पंकज मित्तल को आमंत्रित किया है, और वो तो पूरे भारतीय विश्वविद्यालय संघ की एक लीडरशिप उसके हाथ में है और काफी अच्छे चेंजेस उन्होंने लाए। दूसरी हमारी बहना नंदिता जी है, उनको आमंत्रित किया, और मैं तीसरी हूँ। तो हम लोगों की सहभागिता, हमारा विचार स्वतंत्रता, हमारी क्षमता को देखकर हमारा समाज हमें प्रोत्साहित करता है। यही हमारे उच्च शिक्षा की निष्पत्ति है। यदि हम लोग और देखिए कि स्कॉलरशिप बढ़ाने का हेतु भी हमारे उच्च शिक्षा में है। हमारी बुद्धिमत्ता बढ़े, हमारी विद्वत्ता बढ़े, हमारी इंटेलेक्चुअल पोटेंशियलिटी बढ़े, ये उद्देश्य हमारे भारतीय उच्च शिक्षा में रखा गया था। और यही मुद्दा था, यही मुद्दा विशेष है कि उच्च शिक्षा में महिलाओं का सहभाग। आज हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि 1951 से लेकर 2011 तक जो वृद्धि हुई है महिलाओं की शिक्षा के बारे में, वो बड़ी ही आशादायी और फलदायी ऐसे वो संख्या है। तो इसलिए हम लोग देखेंगे कि और अभी हमारे सरकार ने, भारत सरकार ने आदरणीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महिलाओं को कितने सारे अवसर मिले हैं। यदि वो शिक्षित नहीं है और यदि उसमें कोई पोटेंशियल नहीं है, एक विंग कमांडर ने इंटर सर्विस गार्ड का नेतृत्व किया 2015 में, ये किसका द्योतक है? हमारी अर्थ मंत्री, हमारी विदेश मंत्री, हमारी टेक्सटाइल मंत्री, ये महिलाएं हैं। यानी जो एक सक्षम महिला है, जो महिलाओं में पूरी क्षमता है नेतृत्व करने की, आज उनके हाथ में नेतृत्व है। हम लोग ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचते हैं तो हमें ध्यान में आता है कि केरला की मिनिस्टर ने भी बहुत अच्छा कोविड के लिए काम किया। जर्मनी और न्यूजीलैंड की पंतप्रधान और जर्मनी की चांसलर, इन्होंने, ये दोनों महिलाओं ने प्रूव करके दिखाया है कि कोविड-19 के लिए हम लोग बहुत अच्छे से उपाय ढूंढ सकते हैं। हम लोग ये हुआ है महिलाओं का स्टेटस या महिलाओं का स्थान। हम लोग थोड़ा आगे बढ़ते हैं तो एक अभी दृश्य या कल परसों के रिपोर्ट में एक बात मैंने पढ़ी कि लिंक्डइन ने सर्वे किया, 5 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन का उन्होंने सर्वे किया। और क्योंकि हमें चुनौतियां और अवसर के बारे में भी सोचना है मित्रों, उन्होंने कुछ आंकड़े वहां पे दिए हैं। 62.5% मेल आर वर्किंग देयर। गूगल में जाते हैं तो 60% पुरुष है। टीसीएस में जाते हैं तो 66% पुरुष का दिखाता है। इन्फोसिस में 64% है। वाहतुक यानी क्या बोलेंगे हम लोग, यातायात विभाग, उसमें कंस्ट्रक्शन में और उत्पादन क्षेत्र में अप्रोक्सीमेटली 85% मेल है। तंत्रज्ञान यानी टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड जो भी बिजनेस है उसमें 62% पुरुष है। अभी ये सब आंकड़े, ये संख्या का मैंने यहाँ पे विवरण दिया, इसका कारण ये है कि अवसर कितने हैं। ये एक चुनौती है कि महिलाओं का प्रमाण कम है, 40%, 30 to 40% महिलाएं ये सभी क्षेत्र में है। अब रिमेनिंग जो है वो हमें बढ़ाना पड़ेगा। पॉपुलेशन तो कॉम्प्राइजेस 50% मेल एंड 50% वुमेन। विश्व का पूरा जनसंख्या बताती है कि 50% महिलाएं, नजदीक 50 के नजदीक महिलाओं का सहभागिता है और महिलाएं हैं। अब ये महिलाओं को यदि अवसर ना मिले तो उनके ज्ञान का, उनके स्कॉलरशिप का, उनके विद्वत्ता का, उनके विजडम का, उनके जो भी उनमें है, टॉलरेंस है, उनमें सहनशीलता है, केवल 2% जो अन्य बिजनेस है उसमें महिलाओं का स्थान दिखता है। यानी व्हाट हैपन टू रिमेनिंग 98% वीमेन। महिलाओं में बहुत सारे स्किल्स है, महिलाएं कार्यक्षम है, सक्षम है, बुद्धिमत्ता है, स्कॉलरशिप है उनमें। तो ये के लिए चुनौती है और अवसर भी है। चुनौती इस बात की है कि इस क्षेत्र में हमें नाकारने का उद्देश्य क्या है, व्हाट आर द रीजंस। हाइपोथेटिकली हम लोग ये सोचेंगे कि हाँ जेंडर इज द वुड बी द क्राइटेरिया। एक हमारा जो जेंडर है वो भी हमें बैरियर के माध्यम से या बैरियर के रूप में हमें तकलीफ दे सकता है, पर नहीं, हमारा समाज है, भारतीय समाज है, और निश्चित रूप से हमारे समाज में ऐसा कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता होगा तो उसको हम लोग ओवरकम कैसे करें, उस समस्या का हल हमें निकालना होगा। एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बात संदर्भ के साथ मैं आपके सामने रखती हूँ। जेनी हॉले व्हाई वीमेन विल सेव द प्लैनेट, इस पे वो हमेशा लिखती है और उन्होंने 2 चीजें महिलाओं के बारे में बहुत सटीक कही है। वीमेन आर पावरफुल एजेंट्स ऑफ चेंज। किसी परिवर्तन का अच्छा माध्यम ये महिला है, महिला कर सकती है। दूसरा रीजन उन्होंने बताया है कि why it is to be predicted। तो दूसरा रीजन उन्होंने बताया कि वीमेन ब्रिंग ए डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव। महिलाओं में एक अलग प्रकार का दृष्टिकोण होता है और इसीलिए वो होम वर्कर भी हो तो भी वो गुड मैनेजर है। शी हैज टू मैनेज एवरीथिंग इन होम एंड शी डिड इट वेरी वेल। महिलाओं में ये क्षमता होने के कारण हॉले लिखती है, जेनी हॉले लिखती है कि व्हाई वीमेन विल सेव द प्लैनेट। तो महिलाओं में ये पोटेंशियल है, वी हैव टू अनलॉक हर पोटेंशियल। निश्चित रूप से हम लोग इस चीजों को यदि देखेंगे तो हमें ध्यान में आता है कि हम अच्छे से इस देश में जो चुनौतियां है उसको हम लोग अवसर में ट्रांसफॉर्म या परावर्तित कर सकेंगे। निश्चित रूप से इसके लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, तो हमें बहुत सारी चीजें करना आवश्यक है। जैसे कि हमें लिटरेसी रेट बनाना पड़ेगा। कोरोना जैसे डिजास्टर जो आते हैं उसको हमें रोकना पड़ेगा। अभी रोकना ये तो इट इज बियॉन्ड कंट्रोल, नो वन नोज इट्स सॉल्यूशन। वी आर सर्चिंग, वी आर इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग द वैक्सीन, बट टिल द डेट वी कुडंट गेट इट। फिर भी हम लोग कोशिश जारी रखेंगे। डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट को हमको ओवरकम करना है। हम शिक्षित महिलाएं हैं, उच्च शिक्षा हमें ये बताती है कि समाज का संवर्धन करना ये भी हमारा एक प्रमुख दायित्व है और निश्चित रूप से ये दायित्व निभाने के लिए हमारा समाज हमारे साथ है। हम निश्चित रूप से इस चुनौती को अवसर में परावर्तित जरूर करेंगे। नेटवर्क कल्चर ये भी हमारे लिए एक चुनौती है। नेटवर्क कल्चर ये हमारा बहुत ही आवश्यक है। हमने अभी कोविड के माध्यम से जो भी एक भारत का एक लघु स्वरूप हमने देखा, लघु रूप देखा कि लेबर माइग्रेशन है, रिवर्स माइग्रेशन का अनुभव हमने किया, उसमें महिलाओं का प्रमाण, उनके सेहत का भी हमने एक दृश्य देखा है। तो ये चीजें ठीक है, उच्च शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में ये समस्या आती नहीं होगी, परंतु एक बार यदि हम लोग हल निकालने का प्रयास करेंगे कि उनको शिक्षित करेंगे, हायर एजुकेशन डोमेन में हम यदि महिलाओं को एक्सेस देंगे, पढ़ाने के लिए, पढ़ने के लिए हम लोग सुविधा देंगे, तो निश्चित रूप से हम लोग इस पर हल या सॉल्यूशन निकाल सकेंगे। वीमेन एंड रिसर्च ये भी हमारे लिए एक चुनौती है। जो रिसर्च है वो उसकी वैलिडिटी भी बड़ी आवश्यक है। महिलाओं के बारे में गलत सलत लिखना और उसको स्पष्ट करना समाज के सामने, ऐसा ना हुए तो अच्छा है। रिसर्च के बारे में यूनिवर्सल वैलिडिटी उसकी चेक करके हम लोग फाइंडिंग्स जो भी है वो दुनिया के सामने रखे, देश के सामने रखे, समाज के सामने रखे, शिक्षा शास्त्री के सामने रखेंगे तो निश्चित रूप में हमें हर समस्या का समाधान मिलेगा। इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन डिसीजन मेकिंग, निर्णय प्रक्रिया में कुछ मात्रा में महिलाओं का पार्टिसिपेशन है, पर बहुत सी महिलाएं ऐसी है कि उनके पास ज्ञान है, क्षमता है, उनके पास हर चीज है, उनकी निर्णय प्रक्रिया में यदि उनका सहभाग नहीं बढ़ा तो निश्चित रूप से ये थोड़ा इम्बैलेंस होगा और देश के लिए, समाज के लिए, परिवार के लिए ये आवश्यक है। जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने कहा था कि डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस में महिलाओं का सहभाग बढ़ना आवश्यक है उच्च शिक्षा के माध्यम से, तो निश्चित रूप से हम लोग प्रयास करेंगे कि ये हम हमारी जिम्मेदारी समझकर हायर एजुकेशन में जो भी है, those women they are in the domain of higher education, they will take care of them. सीवाई गोपीनाथ लिखते हैं कि सीवाई गोपीनाथ ने बहुत एक अच्छा एक ऑब्जर्वेशन दिया है कि कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने में महिला बहुत ही अग्रेसर है। महिलाओं के पास एक, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, थर्ड सेंस, या और अलग अलग नाम से हम लोग बोलते हैं कि महिलाओं के पास ऐसी एक शक्ति है कि वो निर्णय प्रक्रिया में अपना एक मत देकर वो जो भी प्रॉब्लम है उसका एक यथार्थ समाधान ढूंढ सकती है। उसमें वो इनहेरेंट उसका एक गुण है। और इसलिए मित्रों, मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत ही सही समय पर आदरणीय संजीव कुमार जी ने इस शीर्षक को सोचने के लिए हमें अवसर दिया। इसलिए मैं लाभार्थी हूँ और मैं निश्चित रूप से कुलपति महोदय के प्रति आदर व्यक्त करती हूँ, बधाई देती हूँ। और निश्चित रूप से हमारे समाज में उच्च शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में हम महिलाओं के बारे में सजगता लाएंगे। सुखस्य मूलम धर्मम, ये जो संस्कृत में एक सुभाषित है कि हैप्पीनेस लाइज इन व्हाट, हैप्पीनेस लाइज इन राइटस कंडक्ट। हम पुरुष हो या स्त्री हो, हमारी जिम्मेदारी यदि हम समझ ले और वो निभाने का पूरा कर्तव्य हम पूरा करें, प्रयास करें, हमारा दायित्व हम निभाने की कोशिश करें, तो निश्चित रूप में आने वाला कल ये बहुत ही समाधानकारक, आशादायी और फलस्वरूप रहेगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। मैं निश्चित रूप से सभी के प्रति आदर व्यक्त करती हूँ, धन्यवाद देती हूँ। आवाज में शायद कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा तो आप मुझे क्षमा कीजिए। फिर से एक बार सभी को धन्यवाद, नमस्ते।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your excellent words and also explaining about the different aspects of role of women in Indian education and also character building through education and freedom of thought for women. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now moving to our next speaker, Professor Sunaina Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Nalanda University, Bihar. Before I request her to speak, I would like to request Ms. Sapna, Assistant Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Mahatma Gandhi Center University, for reading her profile. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sapna. Very good morning to ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of immense pleasure for me to introduce the special guest of this program, Professor Sunaina Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Nalanda University, Nalanda, Bihar. Professor Singh is engaged in the nation's task of rebuilding the renowned ancient Nalanda University. The honor of re-establishing the university has been entrusted to her largely because of her compelling leadership. Professor Singh is among the most prominent leaders in higher education in South Asian region. She is distinguished academician and administrator. Madam holds various reputed positions. I am naming a few. She is Vice President of Indian Council of Cultural Relations, Member of Governing Council Association of Indian Universities, Member of Comprehensive Language Policy of India, Member of Bihar State Audit Advisory Board, Bihar, Academic Advisor for National Cyber Safety and Security Standard, Member Board of Trustee, India Foundation, and Member and Board of Governor DB Laboratories Limited, India. Madam has been the convener of International Dharam Dham Conference in 2018 and 2019. Apart from this, she is a member designate of several distinguished national and international academic committees. Professor Singh is engaged in challenging task of restructuring and redesigning university pedagogical and administrative systems. Being the visiting professor at reputed universities abroad, she had played a crucial role in drawing the attention of the West towards Indian culture and literature, pedagogical system, epistemological concern, and university administration. Madam is a professor of literature and culture, brings with her a rich blend of scholarship, professional integrity, and administrative competence. Her impeccable and proven track record as an able and visionary administrator has enabled her to excel in her leadership role, a fact acknowledged by the many prestigious awards she has been conferred with. Some noteworthy ones are Vishwa Kavi Rabindranath Tagore Memorial Award in 2020 by Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage, International Education Award in 2018 awarded in British Parliament, House of Lords, London, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Excellence Award in 2018, Bharat Shiksha Ratna Award in 2018, Education Leadership Award 2017 by World Education Congress, Bharat Gaurav Award 2016, Chanakya Award for Excellence in Good Governance in 2014 by Public Relations Council of India, Women of the Year Award in 2014 by Citizen Council of Andhra Pradesh, Award for Outstanding Contribution to Education 2014 by World Education Congress, Education Leadership Award in 2014 by Devang Mehta Business School, awarded International Leadership Certificate, National College, Nottingham, UK 2013, Rashtriya Gaurav Award 2011, and many more. Professor Singh was also honored with a citation by the India-Canada Chamber of Commerce, Calgary, for his initiative in strengthening bilateral ties and collaboration in higher education in 2011. Professor Singh has the distinction of being the first Indian woman to head as president of Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute, a national research institution with headquarters in New Delhi and Calgary under the MHRD and Canadian government. As the former Vice Chancellor of English and Foreign Language University, Professor Singh has played a dynamic role in streamlining the administration, reinvigorating academic culture, and bringing about transparency and accountability in the system. Inspired by her sterling leadership and by her commitment to philanthropy, a group of citizens have established, as a tribute to her, a foundation in her name, set up in Hyderabad in March 2015. Basically, it is driven by her vision of building a better society through the education of girl child from the economically challenged section of society. The foundation funds the education of these girls. Professor Sunana Singh has always believed in and has worked towards setting new benchmarks in both the personal and public spheres. What motivates her in her endeavor in life is the persona of her guru and father, Professor Satyanarayan Singh, himself a value-driven scholar, a humanist with innate compassion. As a dynamic leader, she touches many hearts and inspires many minds. Madam is widely known for her leadership and integrity. It will be a privilege and pleasure for us to hear from you. Thank you for joining us, Madam. We welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are really honored to have Professor Sunana Singh as a speaker in this webinar. Now, I would request Professor Sunana Singh, ma'am, to kindly share her views. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Sapna, for that comprehensive background into my work. I must begin by congratulating Professor Sanjeev Sharma ji and Professor Ram Brahmam for taking up this area which continues to be of interest, which continues to be a discussion point as we move forward in the global spectrum. I think women play a very important role, so I congratulate both my colleague Vice Chancellors, Professor Sanjeev Sharma and Professor Ram Brahmam. And I'm happy that I'm on a panel with Dr. Shashikala Vanjari and Dr. Pankaj Mittal, a good friend, but we don't get to meet. Women leaders are very busy, I must say that, and begin on that note. Indian higher education system. Now, Indian higher education, I'll just pause it a little on that and focus primarily on opportunities, because for me, opportunities lie in challenges. So, you know, it's an outcome of challenges. So let's look at it that way. So what is Indian higher education? To me, it's a tapestry of wisdom, knowledge, and insights. Now, these three concepts are very important in Indian higher education or Indian education scenario. The knowledge tradition that India has had for over 10,000 years cannot be written away, cannot be ignored. I think there are very many lessons for us to learn from that. So it's important to posit on that, because if you go to Vishnu Purana, it says, Sa Vidya Ya Vimuktaye. Education is that which liberates. Or in other words, education liberates. I think it's very important for women themselves to think about liberating themselves from the shackles of weakness of any kind, or shackles of ignorance. I think that is where we come to challenges. And we look around higher education scenario. My friend, Dr. Shashikala, has given you some statistics. I'm sure Dr. Pankaj Mittal will give you more statistics. So I will not dwell too much on statistical details, because I think there's a lot of well-documented research done by policymakers, by researchers, by women organizations on gender gap. So I will not dwell on that, but touch on some areas that are very important for us to pause it on. I thought this particular webinar should be a kind of a footboard for us to move on to a higher level of thinking. So what is it that we need to look at? One of the things is that there is a myth that there are very few women who are educated. Now, this is a myth. This needs to be broken. So let's start breaking some of the myths. Now, what is the other myth that we have? That where are the women? This is another concept that, you know, women are not qualified, do not have leadership role. I think women are all there, but are they trapped? That's why I started with Savidya Yam Vimukte, because I believe that it is women who need to believe in themselves before you look at society or others, you know. Unless you have that confidence, that belief in yourself, you cannot move forward. So some of the characteristics which are essential for women to climb up the ladder, I think, is self-discovery, critical thinking, passionate purpose, moral courage, self-expansion, because I believe that we need to constantly expand our, the thinking, cognitive capability or belief in ourselves, or moving out of your own small personality or thinking, which has been part of our Bhagavad Gita calls it Atmanavidhi, which is again self-realization or self-expansion. So my first, point for women would be to pause it on yourself, you know, to reflect. Self-reflection is a very important quality. Do I look at myself today as a woman leader? Yes, in a way. But when I sit in this chair, I am more an administrator. I'm more a vice chancellor. So the gender somehow does not work when I come to my role per se. So somewhere we need to value our feministic persona and at the same time rise beyond it. I think that is very important. How do you retain the woman in you and yet rise beyond that, and not get into the roles of men? And when I say roles of men, the personality, I don't think any woman should try and become a man. Just as a man cannot become a woman needs to value herself. So this for me is very important. So what is it that we need to look at? And I was thinking that we need to dismantle the barriers. You know, breaking the glass barrier, many of us talk about it. But remember, we are also primarily caregivers. When Indira Nui walked back into her home to give the good news that she's been appointed CEO of a top organization in the world, her family had to send her out to get a bottle of milk. They said, no, the first role is that of a caregiver. So how do we balance these two? This is also very important. That is where I think men need to be sensitive and not patronizing in any fashion. So for women, I would say, let's stop lamenting. I think it's time women stop lamenting, although there are problems. There's a tight rope that we walk. We need to navigate the web. We need to lead the talk of discrimination and away from it. Move away from it. Let's not talk too much about gender bias, but rise above, go beyond that to show that in our own capacity, with our own capability, with our own confidence level, we have overcome all gaps. I think this is very biased, is very important. Let's not dwell too much on safety issues, because these are real issues. They are already there in the public domain. There are institutions addressing that. We need to take care of ourselves, safeguard our own selves, but not dwell too much into it at the moment, because we are looking at education. Because education is empowerment, all said and done. So that again lifts you from any kind of insecurity. So it's very important to do that. Somewhere all the negative things that women are, have to face all these issues, uh, to my mind, somehow reinforces the victim syndrome. I think we need to get out of the victim syndrome and move into a domain which is not trapped by all these fears. That is where I think it's very important to posit on what are the opportunities, and the opportunities are humongous. They are diverse, they are huge. If only we train our daughters, we encourage our sisters, we motivate our wives, to the men here and outside. We need to do all this for women so that they learn to look at new opportunities. How do we tap the resources? And the tapping of resource must begin with the self. What is it that I have that is unique? Because each individual, our own knowledge system tells us that we are unique in our own way. You know, we have something to contribute to the external world. Now, don't forget Maitreyi talking to her husband, the sage Yagnavalkya, at that time, when he wanted to distribute his property, his material wealth to his two wives, she asked him a question. Would material wealth or, property that you seem to be giving to me, would that make me happy? Is that the reason for happiness? You know, it's one question on which they had very long discussions. And remember, all our Upanishads are in the form of discussions and debates between teacher and student, between guru and pupil, you know. So let us become gurus at the same time and learn to continue to be pupils or students all our life. So this is very important. Is material wealth important? That it is important, definitely. But it is important to discover that wealth of talent within, the wealth of competence within. Only then a woman is empowered completely. A degree alone cannot empower her, according to me. And I think there is need to pause it on this. We take the degree and that will be a stepping stone, a footboard for us to move forward. So what are the things that one must do to have opportunities? And I was thinking about it, and some of my thoughts are that we need to shape and empower leadership in young girls, you know, in women. Uh, we need to cap on opportunities to build affinity network. I see many men's clubs, but not many women's clubs. Women don't get together to share their success stories, to share their challenges, to share their problems, how they have been able to overcome it. I think these are important things. To provide mentorship and guidance to younger generation of women. And not just that, how to train as mothers, how to train our young sons to respect women. This is again a very important thing. You know, it's important to practice your executive presence. You know, what is your executive role in life? How do you create your own utopia? How do you negotiate and practice your skills? Whatever skills you have, how do you negotiate your skills? How do you practice your skills to bring about an effective change in the system? How do we identify leadership in women? I think it's very important that we need to be informed about our own identity. Now, identity can be looked at from different levels, but I think the identity that seems to capture your leadership is very important. Then you need to map your career opportunities. To the young girls here, I would say, or the younger people looking at embarking on fresher pastures or avenues, I think it's important to map your career opportunities or potential career maps that you need to draw for yourself. Create a pool for yourself. Uh, so I believe that some of the things that can be done are diverse to create opportunities. Now, the other thing that needs to be done is how to be original or authentic, how to be a visionary. You know, a lot of diligent, but lack in having that vision to move forward. How you take up a system and give it a new identity, give it a new role, how you can transform the roles that I have been given and trusted with. And I was lucky there. I don't think I have tried very consciously to be where I am. It was the discovery of my own talent that I found and trying to work on it. But at the same time, I also took up challenges, difficult roles. I have never chosen an easy path. Or rather, should I say that I have created my own paths. Opportunities come. I think it was Thomas Edison who said, the best opportunities come dressed in overalls. Overalls is mechanics dress. So a lot of work. So best opportunities come dressed in overalls. Don't let it pass. Diligence is very important. Difficulty is important. It's only when you cross the barrier of difficulty you realize your inner potential. So it's very important to do that. And don't forget, Thomas Edison is the man who discovered the electricity bulb, the photograph, and what you might not know, that he also discovered the motion picture camera, in other words. So there's a lot of people who have discovered through the tough way in life. So this is very important. The other important characteristic to add on, to append to your list of opportunities, would be to develop habits of awareness. You know, the habits of awareness, and you should reflect to aid them both personally and professionally. So habits of awareness, which can be a huge aid in building both personality and a professional career. The other important, I'm just, I'm speaking from my insights. I'm leaving some ideas behind for those who wish to take them up. Uh, the other important thing I thought is that ideas, challenges, and solutions that one has faced needs to be shared. There has to be a platform. And that is the reason why I started by thanking my friends, Professor Sharma and Ram Brahmam, for thinking about this. I'm one of the women leaders who's not very favorable towards looking at only feminist issues. You know, I somehow believe that we should move away from it. We should move beyond it. Have faith in yourself. Then you don't need to hide behind women's issues. You need to move beyond that. Because I've found many women, even young girls, either we use our sexuality or we like being patronized. I think both are an anathema. Both can be problematic for your own growth, for your own sense of self-worth and self-respect. So that's very important. And when you look at the statistics, you will find that it was in 1951, after our independence, the literacy rate for girls was 9%. In 2019, we are somewhere around 56.8%, according to one study. Is that good? No, certainly not for me. Uh, uh, gross enrollment ratio has gone up, certainly. Higher education in India is doing exceedingly well. I'm one who will not criticize too much here, because given our limitations and challenges, I think India has done remarkably well, given the diversity, given the disparity in education system. We have multiple education scenarios here. There's disparity in education system per se, but yet we have been able to do that. The new education policy looks exceedingly promising for women. Uh, you know, there are always efforts to improve by the government too. And past 5 or 6 years, we've seen that there's been a huge shift. Look at the number of women ministers, you know. If at all reservation, I think it should start right at the young age. And once we come to a certain level, we have acquired education, reservation must stop for women, because that is where we must, on an equal footing, come up with. I'm sure most people will not agree with this, but this is how I look at it. Because I believe that once you've acquired, you have this Vidya Dan that has been given to you, I think you must start believing in yourself and look for opportunities. Now, these were some of the ideas that I wanted to share. Now, a very quick recap on women leadership. This is one area, because if you look at higher education per se, or any women leadership in India, it stands at just 2%. That is a problem. This is where, when we say where are the women, they are very much around. Are they qualified? Yes, they are. Are we looking at them? No, we are not. That's because women themselves are not projecting themselves. So these are some of the things. So I was looking at some of the gender gap studies done recently, that's in 2019. According to CSRI report, women globally sitting on boards are just 20.6%, which could be a significant climb. From 2016, it stood at 15.3. Today, in 2019, last year, probably a couple of months back, it was at 20.6. I think a reasonably good climb, but not satisfactory, I would say. The key takeaway for India, though, is that only 8.5% occupy senior roles. I'm not saying boardrooms, senior posts. These are not leaders in the true sense, not in the top board positions. India ranks 23 out of 56 countries in APAC countries, and the percentage, it's believed, has increased from 6.9 in 2016. So 3 years it has risen to about 2% or so. But women CEOs, women vice chancellors, look at higher education. There are 16 women-centric institutions in India as per our own higher education landscape, where there are nearly 900 degree awarding institutions. We have about 50 central universities. You know, it's a very mind-blowing data that we have. 402 state universities, 50 central universities, 125 deemed universities, 334 private institutions. Then we have 155 institutions of national importance. By the way, Nalanda is also an institution of national importance. It's seen as an international university. Then we have, India is the third largest in the world where higher education scenario is concerned. So with 2% leadership at CEO level is, I think, pathetic to say the least. I think there are qualified women. I think they need to realize their potential. The country needs to realize their potential and put them in positions of power and see how they function. Are they able to take it to another level? Have we been able to be successful? I think this is very important. So mapping the assessment of major relevant trends across the world. That's why I was just focusing on the statistics of leaders around. Now, this mapping is essential. We also need to map our internal leaderships. I generally say the statistics keep changing, uh, so cannot be the same every year. And I generally say that facts obscure the truth. This is what Maya Angelou had said, and so truly I thought. And I think I leave the podium with a thought from Maya Angelou that still I rise, still we rise. We keep rising, let women keep rising. Do we require hand holding? No, sorry. Thank you for the support, but I think we are capable of moving forward. On that note, thank you very much to all my friends out there. There are 892 participants, I'm told. So huge success. Again, my compliments to Sanjeev Sharma ji and Professor Ram Brahmam. I don't see him on the screen here. Namaskar and thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this thought-provoking speech and explaining about the liberating education, the self-reflecting freedom, and also the leadership role of the women. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, before we move further, I would like to announce that we have received many papers on the topic. Hence, I would like to request Dr. Kakoli Banerjee, Department of Biodiversity and Conservation of Natural Resources, to present the paper entitled Liberating Education, Self-Reflecting Freedom and Leadership of Women in Indian Education. Ma'am, please unmute your mic. Dr. Kakoli Banerjee.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Please, ma'am, please
Yeah,
continue.
thank you, Dr. Sapna, for a nice program that you are anchoring. Respected Vice Chancellors of both the universities, respected guests of honor, dignitaries, and my dear colleague, friends, and students. Today, we have gathered here to put our ideas together on women in Indian higher education, challenges and opportunities. Higher education makes a vital contribution to sustainable development, to the generation and dissemination of knowledge. As the 21st century approaches, women graduates face exciting perspectives. Increasingly, they are strongly urged to assume their rightful place in the decision-making process, both in the systems and institutions of higher education, and also in the various professions for which they have studied. As this dual role is of great importance for society, women merit strong encouragement in these endeavors. As per the words of Swami Vivekananda, I quote, "To educate your women first and leave them to themselves, they will tell you what reforms are necessary." I unquote. Every year since 2012, MHRD compiles and presents data on India's higher education base through All India Survey on Higher Education reports. Recently released reports affirms that total enrollment of women in higher education as per 2018-19 is 1.82 crore as compared to men 1.92 crores. This is an increase of 51.8 lakh women at an incredible 4.9% compound annual growth rate. Women are now 48.6% of enrolled students, up from 44.6% in 2011 and 12. Gender part index has reached 1 for the first time from 0.88 in 2011-12. Even the female gross enrollment ratio has jumped for the first time from 19.4 in 2011-12 to 26.4% in 2018-19. Now, MHRD data shows enrollment in secondary and college is increasing for age group of 15 to 29 years, which has led to perceived drop in workforce participation. But since women are not so mobile as men, the unemployment of skilled women is increasing. Moreover, women in tribal areas are also not upgraded to the extent that they would have been. Now, government's focus on higher education has benefited the previously disadvantaged classes who have developed dramatically. Between 2012-13 and 18-19, population in other groups other than general merit has increased, and 10% EWS reservation to support low-income families has come up. Despite marked advances towards gender equality and women empowerment, especially during the last century, progress has been slow and disparities persist around the world. Unfortunately, science is not immune to such inequalities, with women representing only a third of researchers globally and often facing gender-based discrimination and a lack of equal opportunities. Women should be honored for their contribution to the society to preserve our democratic character in learning. Unfortunately, the spate of recent disturbing events in the national capital and in other parts of the country have spurred the UGC to review existing arrangements that are currently in place on the campuses, all institutions of higher education, to ensure the freedom, safety, and security of girls and women in particular, and of the entire youth in general. Women empowerment, abolishing girl feticide, abolishing women assaults, enhancing women brain and leadership are the need of the hour. Marie Curie, the first woman to receive Nobel Prize, Mother Teresa, Kalpana Chawla, Nati Binodini, and Nandini Satpathy should be our role models who have exhibited their power and their contribution to a civilized society. In the words of Lord Byron, I should quote, "She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies." We have been hearing so much from our experts. I just made a gist of the papers that has been submitted with these few words. So let's move forward, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas on the subject. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this informative brief. Thank you so much for that. Now, our next speaker is Dr. Srimati Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, Association of Indian Universities, New Delhi. For reading her profile, I would like to request Dr. Preeti Bajpai, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Mahatma Gandhi Center University. Ma'am, over to you. Dr. Preeti
Thank you, Dr.
Bajpai.
Sapna. Thank you, Dr. Sapna. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Please continue.
Thank you. A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Preeti Bajpai, feel privileged and honored to present the inspiring memoir of our chief guest of today's function, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General of the Association of Indian Universities. She is a second woman Secretary General of the Association since its inception in 95 years ago. She has served the higher education sector for over 3 decades, serving a major role in policy planning and management of higher education at the apex regulatory body, University Grants Commission of India. Dr. Mittal has been an outstanding scholar and a Fulbright Fellow in Agricultural Statistics. Additional to her laurels, at a very younger age of 44, she has served as the first regular Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phul Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur, the first rural university of North India. By her untiring efforts, Dr. Mittal has transformed the Gurukul into an institution of international repute. She introduced a series of innovative practices and reforms in the only rural residential multi-faculty women state university of country, imparting education to 7,000 girls from KG till PhD level in a holistic manner. During her tenure as a vice chancellor, she has established collaborations with various universities like University of Baltimore, USA, St. Catherine University, USA, Nottingham Trent University, UK, and University of Cambridge, UK. Her contributions in the institution building, coupled with blending of traditional and modern education, is an exemplary contribution towards promotion of rural women folk in a unique manner. The social impact is very well evident by the sex ratio figures of the Census 2011 of Khanpur village with 1,378 females per 1,000 males in the state of Haryana, which is well known for its adverse sex ratio. The female literacy rate was also enhanced to 76%. In addition to her accolade, Dr. Mittal has also been received various awards and honors. To name a few, is a Fulbright Nehru Scholarship for Educational Administration, President of India Award for Digital Initiatives in Higher Education, Honorary Doctorate DLET from Karnataka State Women University, Karnataka, First Padam Shri Subhashini Devi Award 2018 for contributions in societal development and community engagement from Chief Minister of Haryana, Quimpro Gold Standard Award for Leadership in Education, and many more. Moreover, Dr. Mittal has visited a number of countries like USA, Canada, Australia, Mexico, South Korea, Spain, Germany, South Africa, Hong Kong, to name a few. For academic purposes, she has also led a delegation of 15 vice chancellors to UK for academic collaborations. In addition to her duties, she has served as a member of various high-powered committees and professional bodies. Academically, she has published numerous articles, papers, and reports on issues related to higher education and women empowerment in national and international journals. Ma'am, we are really honored to have you here among us. Just a quote for you. पृथ्वी की सी क्षमता, सूर्य जैसा तेज, समुद्र की सी गंभीरता, चंद्रमा की सी शीतलता, पर्वतों की सी मानसिक उच्चता हमें एक साथ आपके व्यक्तित्व में दृष्टिगोचर होती है. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. We are really happy to have Dr. Pankaj Mittal as our chief guest. Now, I would like to request ma'am, please share your views with us. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Preeti, for a very, very generous introduction. This was such a long introduction I have heard for the first time from me. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Sanjeev Kumar, the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Bihar, and Professor Ram Brahmam, Vice Chancellor of Central University of this Central Hyderabad, for inviting me here for this very, very fascinating webinar on women. After listening to two eloquent speakers, Dr. Sunaina Singh and Dr. Shashikala Banjari, I don't think there is much left to speak. But since I am here, I'll just put across some of my experiences in front of you. When we talk of women, and then Dr. Shashikala Banjari and the previous speaker also gave some statistics, Dr. Sunaina Singh said that I will be giving much more statistics. I probably think that she said so because I'm a person of statistics. My master's and PhD is in statistics. But I won't bore you with much of statistics, just a little thing which we have lost sort of. in this Aisha report, we were talking about the number of universities, colleges, number of women universities, number of women colleges. But one very important thing which we lost sight of, and for which we should be proud of, that the first time in the history of India, the gross enrollment ratio of women is more than the gross enrollment ratio of men. So far, we have always been talking about bridging the gender gap, because mostly there was a difference of up to 2% in the gross enrollment ratio of men and women. Men were always higher. For the first time, this has happened, that the overall gross enrollment ratio is 26.3. Men is 26.3, women is 26.4. Although it is only 0.1%, but it does make a significant difference in the way women is proceeding in our country. So the gross enrollment ratio for women is high. And you were also talking about some very, very big achievers, like somebody was talking about Madame Curie. There are only 4 people in the world who have received Nobel Prizes 2 times. Madame Curie was the first. She was a lady, she was the first. She received a Nobel Prize in physics as well as in chemistry. But my take on this is, I mean, there are very few women achievers, not many of them are there. Like when we talk of women population, it is almost equal. When we talk of women students, it is almost equal. But when we talk of women teachers, it is around 42% women and 58% men. When we talk of women professors, it is around 10% women professors. And when we talk of women vice chancellors or women principals, it is only 2%. So what happens? What happens all of a sudden? Even if we talk of, say, parliamentarians in our Lok Sabha, it is not more than 10 to 11%. If we talk of IAS, IPS, everywhere it is around less than 10%, up to 10% only. And in such a long history of India's independence, we have yet to see a woman Chief Justice of India. A country like USA has yet to see a woman President of USA. So why is it happening? Why does this happen? So in my view, there are 3 major issues with regard to this. One is stereotyping. So when I say stereotyping, I mean, suppose you close your eyes and think of a doctor. So you will get an image of a male. Think of a scientist, male. Think of an engineer, male. But think of a nurse, immediately a female comes up. Think of a receptionist, immediately a female comes up. So we have a sort of a stereotype in our head that for bigger jobs, men are there, for smaller jobs, women are there. Why? We have to remove this stereotyping. Why does this happen that for a woman, the decisions are made when she is young by the father, when she grows up by the brother, then husband, and lately by son also? So why does this happen that this type of decision is made? Like when I was vice chancellor of this women university, I'll tell you 1 or 2 anecdotes from there. We had opened a course called Bachelor in Hospitality Management, hotel management and hospitality. So we gave admission to one girl, rural girl, because it was a rural university. So one day, her brother, who was in class 10, and she was taking admission in Bachelors of Hospitality, his brother, because anybody could come to me, my doors as vice chancellor were open, anybody could come to me. So her brother comes and says, मेरी बहन ये कोर्स नहीं करेगी. मैंने कहा भाई क्यों नहीं करेगी? क्योंकि मेरी बहन होटल में काम नहीं करेगी. मैंने कहा you take decisions for her or she takes her own decisions? He says I will decide कि मेरी बहन कहाँ पढ़ेगी और क्या काम करेगी. तो मुझे as a vice chancellor I had to convince that boy कि खाली होटल में ही काम नहीं होता इस तरह के कोर्स से, और भी बहुत सारे जॉब्स होते हैं और होटल में काम करना भी कोई ऐसा बुरी बात नहीं है. इतना कन्विंस मुझे उस छोटे लड़के को करना पड़ा कि वो अलाउ करे अपनी बहन को होटल मैनेजमेंट के कोर्स में एडमिशन लेने के लिए. सो दिस इज हाउ, स्पेशली इन द रूरल एरियाज, अर्बन में बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, इट्स नॉट दैट इट्स ओनली रूरल एरियाज, दिस इज हाउ द women are managed at home. So stereotyping is one thing. Second thing is the attitude of not only the society towards the women but also the women towards herself. मतलब women खुद ही सोचती हैं कि हम उतने अच्छे नहीं हैं या हम उतने काबिल नहीं हैं जितने कि men. And that scenario is not only for India, that is for everywhere. Like somebody was telling me, we had so many collaborations in our university. So once we had a delegation of women vice chancellors from USA who came to our university. So when we were talking, so all of a sudden this came that the women vice chancellors in USA are getting less salary than the men vice chancellors in USA. We were almost shocked. हमने कहा ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है भाई, यूएसए इतना डेवलप्ड नेशन और उस देश में जो इतना डेवलप्ड है, विमेन की सैलरी कम और मेन की ज्यादा, स्पेशली एट द पोस्ट ऑफ वाइस चांसलर। मैंने कहा भाई हमारे देश में तो छोटी यूनिवर्सिटी हो, बड़ी हो, सेंट्रल हो, स्टेट हो, विमेन हो, मेन हो, सबका सेम सैलरी है, बट हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल कि यूएसए जैसे देश में वुमेन वाइस चांसलर इज अर्निंग लेस देन मैन वाइस चांसलर? तो देन दे एक्सप्लेन टू मी कि हमारे देश में सैलरीज फिक्स नहीं होता, जैसे इंडिया में वाइस चांसलर की सैलरी फिक्स्ड है, तो वहाँ सैलरीज आर नॉट फिक्स्ड फॉर एनी पोजीशन इंक्लूडिंग वाइस चांसलर। तो जब वाइस चांसलर की सैलरी के लिए नेगोशिएशन होता है अक्रॉस द टेबल, विमेन टेंड टू नेगोशिएट लोअर। वो ये मान के चलती हैं हम शायद उतनी ज्यादा सैलरी के लायक नहीं है जितना मेन है। सो ये एटीट्यूड जो अपनी तरफ है ना, विमेन का एटीट्यूड अपने लिए ही, दैट क्रिएट्स अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम। उसकी वजह से ही दिस हैपेंस कि विमेन जहां भी हम कहते हैं लो पेड है, स्पेशली इन फॉरेन कंट्रीज जहां नेगोशिएशन है, बिकॉज वी फील कि वी आर नॉट कैपेबल ऑफ हैविंग दैट मच ऑफ सैलरी। इसी तरह लाइक एंड देन वी अंडर एस्टिमेट इन एवरीथिंग। लाइक जब बहुत बार ये होता है कि व्हेन यू टॉक ऑफ जीडीपी ऑफ ए कंट्री, डू वी एस्टिमेट the amount of work done by women in the houses? घर के काम को तो ऐसा माना जाता है कि ये तो मतलब करना ही जरूरी है। लाइक अगेन आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ माय यूनिवर्सिटी, वहां पे बहुत सारी विलेज वुमेन दे केम, तो आई आस्क्ड देम कि आप करती क्या हो? उन्होंने कहा कुछ नहीं। मैंने कहा कुछ नहीं मतलब? क्योंकि हम कुछ भी नहीं करते। मैंने कहा कि आप अपने परिवार का ध्यान रखती हैं? हाँ रखती हैं। कपड़े धोती हैं? हाँ। खाना बनाती हैं? हाँ। वाटर मैनेजमेंट करती हैं? हाँ। मतलब खेतों में भी काम करती हैं, सब कुछ करती हैं, पर देन दे फील कि हम कुछ नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि वो ऑफिस में आके इस तरह से डेस्क पे बैठ के काम नहीं करती हैं जैसे हम करते हैं। तो मतलब व्हाट इज दिस? आई मीन होमवर्क इज नो वर्क। अब स्पेशली इस कोविड में नाउ एवरीबडी नोज हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट द होमवर्क इज। नाउ द मेड्स आर नॉट कमिंग, सो नाउ मेन आर आल्सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाउ मच ऑफ द वर्क वीमेन आर डूइंग इन द हाउस होल्ड। तो एटीट्यूड इज अ वेरी वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम जो हमको देखना पड़ेगा। बट देन आई एम वेरी हैप्पी कि जब हमारी मतलब when I was working in this university, I spent 6 years there. So slowly the attitude, when they gain education, the attitude changes. I do remember those girls who used to enter the university gates in the beginning when they used to take admission in the university, इतनी शर्माती हुई, हरियाणा में they used to put a पूरा अपना घूंघट टाइप निकाल के यहाँ तक चुन्नी करके then they used to come, and within 1 year they used to devise a dress for them और बड़ा smartly, a very smart gait के साथ they used to walk. So it was very very satisfying to see that. I will also refer one case that we held a All India Women Parliament in BPS Women University Kanpur में, and All India Women Parliament में we had put various bills. One bill was on reservation of women both for admission to higher education institutions, for employment and in parliament. And you will be surprised to know that the girls had graduated to that level कि उन्होंने दोनों तीनों बिल गिरा दिए रिजर्वेशन के। They said हमें कोई रिजर्वेशन नहीं चाहिए, just give us opportunity. जैसे ही हमें opportunity मिलेगी, we will show that we don't need reservation, maybe men need reservation, we don't need any reservation. So that is the attitude. That is the attitude we should be having. So when we have this type of an attitude towards ourselves, like for छोटी-छोटी चीजें, like because I am just sharing the experiences with you, we held a, वहाँ पे हम कोर्सेज करते थे, कई सारे ऐसे एड ऑन कोर्सेज थे which were on 50-50 basis, means 50% in the classroom, 50% in the फील्ड्स, मतलब गांव में जाके हमारे स्टूडेंट्स काम करते थे। वहाँ पे लाइक एक माइक्रो फाइनेंसिंग का कोर्स था, तो उसमें बच्चे को ये सिखाते थे विमेन को कि कैसे बैंक अकाउंट खोलना है, कैसे छोटा लोन ले सकते हैं, कैसे कुछ कर सकते हैं। तो उसमें उस कोर्स के तहत उन्होंने जो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स बनाए हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ने, उसमें कुछ लेडीज ने, किसी ने परचून की दुकान खोला, किसी ने बैंगल स्टोर खोला, किसी ने भैंस खरीदा, ऐसे छोटे काम किए, बट दे यूज्ड टू फील कि यस नाउ वी आर फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट। तो कैन यू इमेजिन दैट एक लेडी, उसका नाम मुझे अभी भी याद है, बाला, उसका हमने स्टोर खोला, बाला परचून स्टोर। तो वो उसका बोर्ड लगा के, उसका शॉप जो उसने खोला था उस पर लगाया, शी सेड मेरे नाम पे भी दुकान हो सकती है, बाला परचून स्टोर। शी हैड टीयर्स इन हर आईज। हमने कहा क्यों, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? शी सेड नहीं, दुकान तो खाली आदमियों के नाम पे ही होता है ना। मतलब दैट वाज द एटीट्यूड एंड दैट ब्रॉट सो मच ऑफ, मतलब उसके चेहरे पे वो एम्पावरमेंट दिख रहा था कि एक वुमेन के नाम पे खाली बोर्ड लगने से इतना बड़ा उसको मतलब थिंकिंग उसका ऐसा बदला कि यस आई कैन ऑल्सो डू समथिंग, मतलब उसको लगा मैं कुछ अचीव कर सकती हूँ, आई कैन डू समथिंग, मतलब मेरी भी एग्जिस्टेंस है, ऐसा कि मैं हूँ ही नहीं, आई एम ए नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट पर्सन, जैसा कि मोस्टली विमेन इन द रूरल, उनके बिना पूरा रूरल हाउस होल्ड कोलैप्स कर जाएगा, उनके बिना चल नहीं सकता है। पर छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं कि कैसे विमेन फील एम्पावर्ड बाय सच स्मॉल थिंग्स, so I thought I will discuss with you. So one was stereotyping, second was attitude, third was glass ceiling. Again glass ceiling depends upon this कि glass ceiling में we say that women एक particular level तक तो पहुंच जाती है, उसके ऊपर पहुंचने के लिए that level is called glass ceiling, कि उससे ऊपर उनको लगता है उससे ऊपर हमारी जगह नहीं है, हम यहीं तक के लिए बने थे, इससे ऊपर जाने के लिए हमें नहीं होगा. So that glass ceiling has to be broken, and that can be broken with the attitude only. Like again एक incident, very small incident, I don't want to take much of time, कि there was a line, they say it is an incident in USA. तो यूएसए में एक लाइन लगा हुआ था फॉर गेटिंग द लाइसेंस. सो द फर्स्ट एप्लीकेंट सेज, उसने एप्लीकेशन दिया था, इधर वाले ने पूछा कि व्हाट इज योर प्रोफेशन, शी सेज आई एम ए हाउसवाइफ, होम मेकर. तो उसने कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं लिया उसका एप्लीकेशन में, उसको यहाँ साइड में रखा, नेक्स्ट को बुलाया. सेकंड वन वाज आल्सो ए होम मेकर. तो उससे पूछा व्हाट इज योर ऑक्यूपेशन, शी सेज आई एम ए रिसर्चर. तो उसने कहा किस चीज में रिसर्च करती है, उसने कहा होम मैनेजमेंट एंड फैमिली डेवलपमेंट. उसने कहा अरे वेरी गुड, एंड डू यू हैव ए प्रोजेक्ट विद यू. तो उसके दो बच्चे थे. शी सेज यस आई हैव 2 रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स विद मी. तो शी सेज वेरी गुड. उसने थोड़ा उसको मतलब ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट से और ज्यादा इज्जत से देखा. देन शी सेज डू यू हैव एन असिस्टेंट और यू आर डूइंग इट ऑन योर ओन. शी सेज आई हैव वन असिस्टेंट, हर हस्बैंड. So she said very good, very good. And is your research full time or part time? She says this is overtime. So उसको इतनी इज्जत से उसको लेके गई just because of this, कि उसका attitude towards her work was totally different. So what I want to convey here is that if you have a good attitude, if you want to really rise high, if you really want to break the glass ceiling, the attitude towards yourself, for all the women who are present there, and even for the men who are present there, the attitude towards the women, of women themselves and of the men towards the women, that has to change. और जिस दिन वो बदल जाएगा तो दुनिया बदल जाएगी, दुनिया बहुत अच्छी हो जाएगी. It will be really really nice to have such type of people. And बहुत बारी लोग विमेन यूनिवर्सिटी में भी कहते हैं कि लाइक डू वी रियली नीड विमेन यूनिवर्सिटीज, डू वी रियली नीड विमेन कॉलेजेस. So again you will be surprised to know that there was a women college from USA जहाँ से बच्चे हमारे पास आए थे. एंड आई आस्क्ड देम कि तुम्हारा यूएसए जैसे डेवलप्ड देश में डू यू फाइंड रेलेवेंस ऑफ ए विमेन यूनिवर्सिटी और विमेन कॉलेज. They say, ma'am, we feel much comfortable, much at ease when we are in a women university. All women create a sense of confidence, a sense of security amongst us. So we are very happy to study in a women university or a women college. So what I want to say is that if we break the stereotyping, if we break these attitudinal problems, and if we break this glass ceiling, तो आसमान ही एक ऐसा है जहाँ पे हम कहते हैं ना कि कौन कहता है आसमान में सुराख नहीं हो सकता, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. तो अगर एक पत्थर तबीयत से उछाला विमेन ने तो आसमान में भी सुराख हो सकता है. और हायर एजुकेशन की जो विमेन हैं, जो द वंस हु आर स्टडीइंग और हु आर टीचर्स और हु आर वाइस चांसलर्स इन हायर एजुकेशन, दे कैन रियली डू वंडर्स. So thank you once again for calling me here. And last में जो सब यहाँ पे especially for women, एक दो लाइनों का हिंदी का बोलना चाहूँगी कि दुनिया में दो तरह के लोग होते हैं. आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि आप कौन सी तरह के, किस कैटेगरी में फॉल करते हैं. पहली कैटेगरी ये है, कुछ लोग थे जो वक्त के सांचों में ढल गए, जैसे जैसा वक्त चेंज होता है वो ढल जाते हैं. पर एक दूसरी कैटेगरी भी है, कुछ लोग थे जो वक्त के सांचों में ढल गए और कुछ लोग थे जो वक्त के सांचे बदल गए. तो आपको सांचों को बदलना है, ना कि सांचों में ढलना है. All the best to all the women. Thank you very much. Thanks to both the vice chancellors who have organized this. Thanks to Sunaina ji, my dear friend, and thanks to Shashi ji, my dear friend. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful speech and explaining about the gender gap assessment, personality for achievements, and importance of self-attitude development. Now it's time to hear Professor I. Rama Brahmam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Odisha. Before I request him, I would like to request Professor Rajiv Kumar, Dean, School of Social Science, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, for introducing him and also to invite him. Over to you, sir. Rajiv sir, please unmute your mic. Rajiv sir, please unmute your mic.
Thank you, Sapna. As a student of political science, it's my privilege to introduce Professor I. Rama Brahmam, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Odisha. Prior to taking charge here, he worked as a professor in the Department of Political Science, University of Hyderabad. He is one of the renowned experts in political science with specialization in higher education, governance, and e-governance. In his career spanning more than 3 decades, Professor Rama Brahmam served in different universities as assistant professor in the University of Hyderabad, as associate professor in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, and professor in the University of Hyderabad. Professor Rama Brahmam published extensively in the areas of public administration and public policy. He has more than 100 articles and 3 books to his credit. Obviously, he also guided 25 PhDs and MPhils. He visited the UNESCO International Institute of Education and Planning, Paris, and Stanford University, USA, and was invited as a visiting professor to the Addis Ababa University, Ethiopia. Professor Rama Brahmam has also been actively involved in e-learning initiatives. He was the coordinator for a UGC SWAM massive open online course on public policy and introduction. Prior to that, he was the national coordinator for EPG Pathshala for public administration course and was responsible for content generation of more than 100 modules for postgraduate students. Professor Rama Brahmam was also associated as the coordinator for a MOOC on life skills for engineers by the Commonwealth Education Media Center for Asia. In addition, he was the course coordinator for the MOOC on public administration by MHRD and UGC. Professor Rama Brahmam also had several important administrative positions. Professor Rama Brahmam has been actively involved in social services and various kinds of outreach programs. Sir, recognizing your contribution to the field of political science, you have been also awarded the Senior Political Scientist Award 2018 by the Indian Political Science Association. You are welcome, sir, and it is my privilege to call you to deliver your lecture. Over to Professor I. Rama Brahmam, sir. Professor Rama Brahmam is
सर वो इस लिस्ट में दिख नहीं रहा है, आई थिंक वो शायद बाहर है।
नहीं, वो COU में है, COU सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ओडिशा।
दीपक दिनकर, उनके कनेक्शन को दोबारा वो करना पड़ेगा, दोबारा ज्वाइन कराना है उनको, डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए थे, उनका फोन आ रहा है कि उनको फिर से ज्वाइन कराइए।
ठीक है सर, मैं देख रहा हूँ सर। ओके सर।
सपना, तब तक उनको दुर्गा प्रसाद को बुलवा दीजिए।
Sure, sir. As we can see here that all the speakers enriched us with the great knowledge, and we really got benefited a lot with a variety of new insights. So we can again revisit the sessions in the form of concluding remarks, but it's not a concluding remarks, as our both the VCs will encourage us with their words. So again, in between, I would like to request Professor P. Durga Prasad, visiting professor, Department of Sociology, Central University of Odisha, for concluding remarks. Over to you, Professor P. Durga Prasad. Sir, can you listen me? Professor Durga Prasad, sir, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic.
मैडम इस लिस्ट में वो नहीं दिख रहे हैं उस नाम से, दुर्गा प्रसाद के नाम से।
वो COU में ही है।
और दुर्गा प्रसाद सर, अगर आप इस रूम में हैं तो प्लीज रेज योर हैंड। सर एक ऑप्शन है रेज योर हैंड, अगर आप सर किसी और नाम से इस तो प्लीज रेज योर हैंड।
वो VC सर के साथ ही बैठे हुए थे वहीं COU में।
काकोली मैडम, आप सुन पा रही हैं? हेलो,
अपना सबको बताते रहिए कि वी आर।
उनको वेट करना पड़ रहा है, उनके नाम से है, वो कह रहे हैं वेटिंग रूम में है, प्रोफेसर आई राम ब्रह्मम।
सर एक मिनट, वो आ गए हैं सर, मैं दे रहा हूँ उनको, वो ज्वाइन किया अभी।
हाँ
सर आ गए हैं।
अपना कॉल हिम।
प्रोफेसर राम ब्रह्म सर, आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
Professor I. Rama Brahmam, sir, can you hear us?
Yes, I am.
Sir,
Are
sir,
you able to hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay.
Sir,
Thank
we
you.
request you kindly to share your views.
Thank you. Let me put it, a little humorously, that the system got used to 3 women presentations, so it is not accepting any more men. So first of all, let me thank Professor Sanjeev Kumar Sharma ji for taking the big lead. And I gather that there are about 1,500 followers of, are watching this. It's a great occasion. to participate in this. Professor Sanjeev must have been guided by the fact that I worked as a registrar of a Mahila university. Let me tell that, say, yeah, I got a good experience of working with a women vice chancellor who is extremely good, Professor Ratna Naidu, who gave me an idea into the working issues relating to women in professions like teaching there. Thank you. I'm immensely benefited by the presentations of Professor Shashikala ji, Professor Sunaina Singh Madam from Usmani University. There's, we know her, and Professor Pankaj Mittal, who is a third person who has given us opportunities to prove ourselves in MOOCs courses there. Thank you, Madam. Apart from this, today's presentations are very added to the knowledge base that we have about gender and how it is. All the women vice chancellors, distinguished speakers, have enriched us with their presentations there. Let me start with a little story which I read only a few days ago. That Lal Remsiami, the young hockey player from Kolasip, a town in Mizoram. She is also the youngest player in the Indian women's hockey team. When she returned home after the Asian Games and Youth Olympics in 2019, she was given a royal welcome with some of the highest honors of traditional Mizos. In addition to the victory and her performance, there was an underlying reason for all of them to unite and welcome her. What made her a star? It was her decision, a decision that set her apart and continues to speak volumes. As many of us must have seen the news of her, on the day of her match in Japan, Lal Remsiami lost her father. When she was supposed to be at her father's funeral, she made the decision to stay back and play a crucial semi-final match for her country and make her father happy and proud. She was praised for her decision. The team won the match, and when she came back home, that's when she got the royal welcome from the people. This is just one case that speaks about how important decision making is, especially decision making of and by women. Women as decision makers have been acclaimed since times immemorial. Although women are still striving to break the glass ceilings in many fields, women as administrators, as managers, as sportspersons, as professionals, as homemakers, and many millions of roles they play, it is their skill of decision making that sets them apart. It is wrong to think that women cannot make decisions for themselves. No? In the context of this webinar, women in academics have always played a critical role as educators, administrators, and researchers. Their decision-making skills have always been noteworthy and commendable. Drawing from more than 3 decades of my experience in public-funded universities, I understood that it is very important to encourage and create a vibrant ecosystem for women leaders to emerge. I just came to know that it's very depressing that only 2% of universities or institutions of higher education are managed by or administered by women there. But I must say that they become the champions of change as they inspire the young generation to aim higher and achieve their goals. In this present crisis of COVID-19, many challenges exist for education system. Women as thought leaders is an important aspect to be looked at. And it got enhanced further. This will help in setting newer precedents in Indian higher education systems. Most of you must have seen how important a women IAS officer, Hina Dabi, staged a strong fight as far as coronavirus control is concerned as SDM. She was UPSC topper. As SDM Bhilwara, Rajasthan, she played a very crucial role, and it was the entire world appreciated her. I noticed what Professor Pankaj Mittal said. Stereotyping is changing over a period of time, and if there are 4 or 5 fundamental aspects relating to women leaders there, like wisdom, courage, humanity, transcendence, justice, and moderation, I find all these aspects that are abundantly in most women I came across, and are in a position to break the glass ceilings there. Under wisdom, creativity, curiosity, judgment, love of learning, perspective, having a perspective, and under courage, bravery, persistence, honesty, and under humanity, love, kindness, social intelligence. And as far as transcendence is concerned, appreciation of beauty, gratitude, hope, humor, spirituality, justice, teamwork, fairness, leadership. Under modernness, forgiveness, modesty, prudence, and self-control. These are outstanding qualities where I happen to see in most men. Women. And these are slowly and steadily, I am noticing that women are emerging as strong leaders in fields chosen by them. I feel that the success stories need to be documented properly to give inspiration to the youngsters that are watching the success of best women leaders there. I thank for this opportunity for presentation on this vital issue. With one suggestion, I think I'll end this. I request Professor Pankaj Mittalji to go in for a kind of an auditing of their achievements in a special issue of University News. This journal is a house journal of Association of Indian Universities. More women will be benefited by reading these things there. Thank you very much, Professor Sanjeev, and thanks for the patient hearing by all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful speech and all your encouraging words. Now it's a time to hear our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who has mastery over almost all area of knowledge and who supports us in every walk of life. Before I request him for his presidential address, I would like to request Dr. Rudrani Mohanty, Assistant Professor, Department of Odia, Central University of Odisha, for introducing him and also to invite him. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swapna. Very good afternoon to everyone. It is my pleasure and privilege to say that when art, science, literature, and philosophy are simply the manifestation of personality, they are on a level which glorious and dazzling achievements are possible, which can make a person's name live for thousands of years. Professor Sanjeev Kumar Sharma is one of them. He is presently Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Motihari, Bihar, since April 2019. He is a great believer of education as disruption, education as power, and education for practical mastery. He is one of the great political thinkers of present time, having a lot of contribution to the subject of political science and society. He was former professor and head Department of Political Science in Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut, General Secretary and Treasurer of Indian Political Science Association for a decade, editor of the Indian Journal of Political Science, founder, editor of Bharatiya Rajniti Vigyana Shodh Patrika, the Hindi Journal of IPSA. His career was throughout first class with National Merit Scholarship. Esteemed Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sharma has taught political science more than 35 years, supervised 17 PhD, 64 MPhil research scholar, and 37 doctoral fellow.
हो गया. Thank you.
A widely traveled academician and extensively. जी सर.
रुद्राणी जी,
Okay.
ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आप.
Okay. Thank you sir. Thank you. नमस्ते.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर रुद्राणी मोहंती. महात्मा गांधी केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय मोतिहारी और उड़ीसा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय कोरापुट के संयुक्त तत्वावधान में आयोजित इस राष्ट्रीय ई संगोष्ठी में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में हमारे मध्य उपस्थित आदरणीय डॉक्टर पंकज मित्तल जी, मेरे दो वरिष्ठ सहयोगी मित्र आदरणीय प्रोफेसर सुनैना सिंह जी, आदरणीय प्रोफेसर शशिकला बंजारी जी, और मेरे 3 दशक से पुराने पारिवारिक मित्र प्रोफेसर आई राम ब्रह्मम जी, विश्वविद्यालय के दोनों परिवारों के मेरे बहुत ही सम्मानित शिक्षक मित्रों, देश के विभिन्न स्थानों से, और मुझे जो सूचना दी गई है उसमें करीब 1 दर्जन से अधिक लोग विदेशों से जुड़े हुए हैं इस कार्यक्रम से। तो देश विदेश से इस कार्यक्रम से भिन्न माध्यमों से, विभिन्न प्लेटफॉर्म से जुड़े हुए, और जो जानकारी मेरे पास है इस समय करीब 1000 लोग इस कार्यक्रम में प्रत्यक्ष जुड़े हुए हैं, और फेसबुक के डिफरेंट चैनल से हमारे दोनों विश्वविद्यालयों के इस आयोजक मंडल ने करीब 50,000 लोगों को इस कार्यक्रम से प्रत्यक्ष रूप से जोड़ने का लक्ष्य रखा था, और वे इसमें सफल हुए हैं। करीब 8 से 10,000 लोगों का रजिस्ट्रेशन ये लोग आज सवेरे तक करा पाए थे। तो इतना बड़ा मंच इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय के लिए उपलब्ध हुआ, और मुझे इस विषय पर बोलने के लिए 3 बहुत महत्वपूर्ण वक्ता मिले। डॉक्टर पंकज मित्तल के पास महिला विश्वविद्यालय की कुलपति होने के अतिरिक्त भारतीय विश्वविद्यालय संघ के महासचिव का दायित्व भी है, तो उनके पास विश्वविद्यालयों के प्रशासन और उनकी समस्याओं और उनकी चुनौतियों संभावनाओं के बारे में एक स्पष्ट दृष्टि है। प्रोफेसर सुनैना सिंह पहले भी एक महत्वपूर्ण विश्वविद्यालय की कुलपति रह चुकी हैं और आज एक राष्ट्रीय सम्मान प्राप्त विश्वविद्यालय की माननीय कुलपति हैं। संयोग से वो महात्मा गांधी केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय की पहली कार्य परिषद की भी माननीय सदस्य रही, तो इसलिए भी उनका मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि उस कार्यक्रम में आई। प्रोफेसर शशिकला बंजारी भारत के एक 100 साल से पुराने विश्वविद्यालय की माननीय कुलपति हैं, मेरी बहुत ही शुभचिंतक हैं, परिचित मित्र हैं बहुत पुरानी। तो इन सब मित्रों ने आज इस कार्यक्रम में आना स्वीकार किया, और इस प्रकार के एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर हमने इन चारों के अनुभव, ज्ञान और जो भी उनके पास मेधा मनीषा उपलब्ध थी उसको संचित रूप में, सार संक्षेप के रूप में, संदेश के रूप में हमने प्राप्त किया। यह हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, और मुझे इस बात पर बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई कि जब प्रारंभ किया प्रोफेसर शशिकला बंजारी जी ने, उनके इंटरनेट कनेक्शन में थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम हुई, बीच में हम लोग उनको देख नहीं पा रहे थे उस समय जब वो बोल रही थी, फिर भी उन्होंने एक गीता की एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पंक्ति को उद्धृत किया, नहीं ज्ञानेन सदृश यह किंचित विद्यते। ज्ञान की पवित्रता पर उन्होंने रेखांकित किया, और ज्ञान की पवित्रता को रेखांकित करते समय जब उन्होंने कहा तो आपने देखा कि प्रोफेसर सुनैना सिंह ने मैत्रेयी संवाद के माध्यम से और उपनिषद के साविद्याया विमुक्तये के माध्यम से पारंपरिकता और आधुनिक समय की अपेक्षाएं, आवश्यकताएं, उनको दोनों का संयोग संतुलन हमारे समक्ष रखा। तो डॉक्टर पंकज मित्तल के पास दोनों विश्वविद्यालय संघ और एक विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति के रूप में और यूजीसी के अधिकारी के रूप में जो अनुभव था उसके कुछ अंश उन्होंने हमारे साथ साझा किए। इस सब से उच्च शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में, विश्वविद्यालयों में, महाविद्यालयों में, अन्य शिक्षा के संस्थानों में हमारे महिला विद्यार्थियों को, महिला शिक्षकों को, महिला कर्मचारियों को जो समस्याएं आ रही हैं उनकी ओर भी हमारा ध्यान आकृष्ट हुआ, और उनकी जो संभावनाएं हैं, जो दिशाएं हो सकती हैं, और जो किया जाना चाहिए, जो कार्य पथ हमारा हो सकता है, उसकी ओर भी इन लोगों ने इंगित किया। और मुझे इस बात की बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई कि सुनैना जी ने जब ये कहा कि हमें स्टॉप लिमेंटिंग, मुझे लगा ये साहस कोई महिला ही कर सकती थी, हम में से कोई कहता तो थोड़ा खराब लगता किसी को, राजीव या मैं कहते या राम ब्रह्मम कहते, तो थोड़ा खराब लग सकता था, लेकिन उन्होंने ये कहने का साहस किया और मुझे सुंदर लगा कि उन्होंने कहा कि स्टीरियोटाइप से निकलने की आवश्यकता है। और डॉक्टर पंकज मित्तल ने ग्लास सीलिंग की जो बात कही, मुझे लगता है ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण विषय है कि इसको भी तोड़ने की आवश्यकता हमारे यहाँ है। और ये बड़ा सुखद संयोग है कि आज किसी भी कारण से सांख्यिकी दृष्टि से हमारी जो महिला विद्यार्थियों की संख्या है वो पुरुष विद्यार्थियों से कुछ अनुपात में, कुछ अंश में ही आगे गई हो, लेकिन वो आगे गई है। और ये हम देख रहे हैं विश्वविद्यालय व्यवस्था में। और आज के कार्यक्रम में मैं देख रहा हूं करीब 1000 से अधिक लोग इस समय प्रत्यक्ष रूप से जुड़े हुए हैं, उसमें भी महिलाओं की संख्या बहुत अधिक है। ये उत्साहवर्धक संकेत है, और ये जो उत्साहवर्धक संकेत हैं यही विश्वविद्यालय व्यवस्था में, उच्च शिक्षा की व्यवस्था में आगे ले जाएंगे। आपने देखा कि दोनों विश्वविद्यालयों से काकोली बनर्जी, मिनती साहू, रुद्राणी मोहंती, इन सब लोगों ने, इधर से शाहना मजूमदार, प्रीति वाजपेयी, सपना, सुगंधा, सपना, इन सब लोगों ने, माने दोनों विश्वविद्यालयों से हमारी महिला शिक्षकों ने आगे बढ़कर इस कार्यक्रम को अपने हाथ में लिया, इसका संचालन किया, इसकी व्यवस्था की। बाकी सब लोग साथ में रहे, ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल हमने इसे महिला केंद्रित कार्यक्रम बनाया हो, लेकिन इससे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि महिलाओं की समस्याओं के विषय पर रेखांकित करने का, उन्हें चिन्हित करने का, उनकी दिशाएं समझने का, उनकी समस्याओं को जानने का, उनके लिए नई संभावनाओं को तलाशने का, और आगे जो चुनौतियां हमारे समक्ष हैं उनके लिए कार्यपथ तैयार करने का, एक कार्य योजना तैयार करने का एक अवसर आया। और ये अवसर हमें उपलब्ध हुआ। मैं बहुत विस्तार से आज के विषय पर नहीं बोलूंगा, हमने 4 बहुत महत्वपूर्ण वक्ताओं को सुना है, और इन अनुभवी 4 वक्ताओं को सुनने के बाद हमारे पास जो प्रश्न जिज्ञासाएं जगी हैं, जो हमारी संभावनाएं मन में आई हैं, हमारी जो उत्कंठाएं इस विषय में उद्भूत हुई हैं, उन सब को एकत्रीभूत करके हम नए रास्ते तैयार कर सकेंगे, नए रास्ते बन सकेंगे। इसी आशा, इसी प्रार्थना, इसी कामना के साथ एक बार पुनः 4 मित्रों को, डॉक्टर पंकज मित्तल जी को, प्रोफेसर सुनैना सिंह जी को, प्रोफेसर शशिकला बंजारी को और भाई प्रोफेसर राम ब्रह्मम को बहुत बहुत साधुवाद देता हूं, बहुत बहुत प्रणाम करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। और आप लोगों ने समय दिया और बहुत बड़ी संख्या में हमारे लोग इस कार्यक्रम से जुड़े। इसके लिए दोनों विश्वविद्यालय के शिक्षक मित्र जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन में विभिन्न प्रकार की भूमिकाएं, कुछ सामने हैं, कुछ पर्दे के पीछे हैं, तो नेपथ्य के पीछे जो है उनको भी और जो सामने हैं उनको भी, दोनों परिवारों में ये एक परिवारों का सम्मिलन भी है। और मैं पिछले 2-2.5 महीने से ये प्रयत्न कर रहा हूँ कि हम कई विश्वविद्यालय संयुक्त रूप से कार्यक्रम करें। केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय गुजरात के साथ हमने 2 कार्यक्रम किए हैं, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय लखनऊ के साथ हमने एक कार्यक्रम किया है, तो अन्य विश्वविद्यालयों के साथ संयुक्त रूप से हम कार्यक्रम कर पाए। इस प्रकार की प्रवृत्ति बढ़ रही है। इसी प्रवृत्ति में, इसी प्रकृति में, इसी प्रगति में हम आज केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय उड़ीसा के साथ संयुक्त हो सके, यह रास्ता और शुभ होगा, प्रशस्त होगा। इसी कामना के साथ आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir, for all your inspiring words. We are really pleased to have you as our leader, and the way you support us always, we really feel privileged. Thank you so much, sir. Now this session success is witnessing the support of many people, and they deserve words of appreciation from our side. So hence I would like to request Dr. Sarita Tiwari, Associate Professor, Department of Political Science and International Relations, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
महात्मा गांधी केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय मोतिहारी बिहार तथा उड़ीसा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय कोरापट उड़ीसा के संयुक्त तत्वावधान में भारतीय उच्च शिक्षा में महिलाएं, अवसर एवं चुनौतियां, इस विषय पर आयोजित इस संगोष्ठी में उपस्थित सम्मिलित सभी प्रबुद्ध जनों को मेरा सादर नमस्कार। इस संगोष्ठी की मुख्य अतिथि भारतीय विश्वविद्यालय संघ की महासचिव आदरणीय प्रोफेसर पंकज मित्तल महोदया का मैं अपने विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से तथा अपनी ओर से हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ, जिनके सारगर्भित वक्तव्य से संपूर्ण उपस्थित विद्वत समाज लाभान्वित हुआ है। उच्च शिक्षा जगत में महिलाओं की समस्याएं, चुनौतियां एवं अवसर पर अपने विशद शैक्षणिक एवं प्रशासनिक अनुभव से प्राप्त ज्ञान के आधार पर जो विचार आपने हमारे समक्ष रखे वे सचमुच बहुमूल्य हैं। आपका धन्यवाद मैम। अंतरराष्ट्रीय ख्यातिलब्ध ऐतिहासिक महत्व के विश्वविद्यालय नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय की माननीय कुलपति प्रोफेसर सुनैना सिंह महोदया का मैं हृदय से आभार प्रकट करना चाहती हूँ जिन्होंने अपने विस्तृत शैक्षणिक प्रशासनिक अनुभव से विषय से संदर्भित अपने बहुमूल्य विचार रखे। महोदया का पुनः धन्यवाद। इस वेबिनार की विशिष्ट अतिथि SNDT महिला विश्वविद्यालय मुंबई की माननीय कुलपति महोदया प्रोफेसर शशिकला बंजारी मैम का मैं विशेष आभार प्रकट करना चाहती हूँ, जिन्होंने अपने संबोधन में उच्च शिक्षा में महिलाओं के लिए जो चुनौतियां हैं, जो अवसर हैं, उस विषय पर अपने संचित ज्ञान के आधार पर बहुत से सुझाव और व्यावहारिक समाधान दिए। उनके विचारों से हम कृतकृत हुए। मैम, मैं आपका हृदय से आभारी हूँ। अपनी ओर से, अपने दोनों आयोजक विश्वविद्यालय के आयोजक टीम की ओर से आपका धन्यवाद करती हूँ। इस वेबिनार के सह आयोजक विश्वविद्यालय उड़ीसा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय कोरापच के यशस्वी माननीय कुलपति प्रोफेसर आई रामा ब्रह्मम सर का मैं अपने विश्वविद्यालय तथा अपनी ओर से हृदय से आभार प्रकट करना चाहती हूँ। आप राजनीति विज्ञान के मूर्धन्य विद्वान, कुशल प्रशासक, चिंतक, मनीषी परंपरा के विद्वान हैं। इस सारस्वत यज्ञ में आपकी वाणी से सरस्वती की तरंगें प्रवाहित हुई हैं। हम सभी इससे कृतज्ञ हैं, अभिभूत हैं। आपका हृदय से आभार। आपने महिलाओं के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में सकुशल भागीदारी की चर्चा की। वह प्रशासनिक क्षेत्र से लेकर खेल के क्षेत्र तक आपने उदाहरण सहित अपने विचारों को रखा। महिलाओं के प्रति इस सम्मान के लिए मैं आपका हृदय से धन्यवाद करती हूँ, आभार प्रकट करती हूँ। इस वेबिनार के अध्यक्ष महात्मा गांधी केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय के यशस्वी मनीषी परंपरा के विद्वान कुलपति आदरणीय प्रोफेसर संजीव कुमार शर्मा सर का मैं श्रद्धा सहित हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ, जिनके प्रेरणा से, प्रोत्साहन से और स्वीकृति से इस बिल्कुल ही मौजूद विषय पर, संदर्भित विषय पर इस वेबिनार का सफल आयोजन संभव हो सका है। इस वेबिनार के आयोजक टीम में शामिल हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के प्रोफेसर अरुण कुमार भगत सर, डीन कंप्यूटेशनल साइंसेज, इंफॉर्मेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, प्रोफेसर पवनेश कुमार महोदय, विभागाध्यक्ष डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट साइंस, प्रोफेसर राजीव कुमार सर, विभागाध्यक्ष डीन सोशल साइंस एवं समन्वयक रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट, प्रोफेसर सहाना मैम, विभागाध्यक्ष बॉटनी, डॉक्टर प्रीति मैम, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर जूलॉजी, डॉक्टर सपना सुगंधा, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर मैनेजमेंट साइंस, उड़ीसा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय की कोका कोली मैम, मोनाथी साहू मैम, इस विश्वविद्यालय की PRO श्रीमती शिफालिका जी, मैं इन सब का हृदय से धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करती हूँ, जिनके सम्मिलित प्रयास से ये वेबिनार इस रूप में आपके सामने साकार हुआ है। मैं इस आयोजन के लिए अपने विश्वविद्यालय के, महात्मा गांधी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी के विश्वविद्यालय के सिस्टम एनालिस्ट श्री दीपक दिनकर का हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ, धन्यवाद देती हूँ, जिनके तकनीकी सहयोग से यह सेमिनार आपके समक्ष इस प्रकार उपस्थित हो सका है। महात्मा गांधी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी के सभी संकायाध्यक्ष, सभी विभागाध्यक्ष, सम्मानित हमारे शिक्षकगण, सबके प्रति मैं अपना विशेष आभार प्रकट करती हूँ, जो इस वेबिनार में शामिल हैं, जिनसे हमारा उत्साहवर्धन हुआ है और यह कार्यक्रम सफल हुआ है। इस वेबिनार से जुड़े भारतवर्ष के अनेक विश्वविद्यालयों के शिक्षक, हेड्स, टीचर्स, शोधार्थी और विद्यार्थी जुड़े हुए हैं। 1500 से अधिक शोधार्थी इसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन करा चुके हैं और बहुत ही बड़ी संख्या में इससे हमारे विद्यार्थी शोधार्थी जुड़े हैं। उन सबका मैं हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ। वस्तुतः ये सेमिनार उन शोधार्थियों के लिए, उन विद्यार्थियों के लिए बहुत ही उपयोगी है, जो आधी दुनिया से रिलेटेड, आधी दुनिया से संदर्भित इस सब्जेक्ट पे बहुत से शोध प्रश्नों को लेके और बहुत से शोध विचार बिंदुओं को लेके, चिंतन मनन के बिंदुओं को लेके अपने जाएंगे और उस पर शोध करेंगे, उस समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए प्रयास करेंगे। उन जिनके लिए यह सेमिनार बहुत ही उपयोगी है, उन शोधार्थियों और विद्यार्थियों का भी मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ। अंततः इस सेमिनार से जुड़े हुए प्रत्यक्ष या अप्रत्यक्ष रूप में जितने भी प्रबुद्ध जन, मीडिया कर्मी और सामान्य जन जिनके समक्ष ये सेमिनार का संदेश मीडिया कर्मी के माध्यम से जाएगा। बाद में जो सामाजिक जो माध्यम है, सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से बाद में भी जो लोग इस सेमिनार से जुड़ेंगे या इससे जो इस प्राप्त ज्ञान का निचोड़ प्राप्त कर सकेंगे, उन सभी देवियों और सज्जनों का मैं हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ, धन्यवाद प्रकट करती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this vote of thanks. Now, I would like to request all of you kindly to rise for our national anthem.
सबको नमस्कार मेरी ओर से भी। सुनैना जी बहुत बहुत
विजय सर से अनुमति ले लीजिए सपना।
बिल्कुल, सब कार्यक्रम समापन सबको।
हाँ सर, प्लीज इफ यू अलाउ अस।
हाँ प्लीज कंक्लूड कीजिए। सबको नमस्कार मेरी ओर से।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
सुनैना जी, राम ब्रह्मन जी, शशिकला जी, सबको प्रणाम।
मैडम बोल दीजिए सर।
राजीव सर।
सपना मैडम आप ही कर दीजिए सब।
Okay, once again, I would like to say thanks to all of you, all the dignitaries present here, all the participants, heads and deans, everyone who is present here. Thank you so much to all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.